Greetings, Tony from Old River Hardgoods again. Today's video takes a look at some of the neat and interesting tools I recently picked up. Show you a couple of the start to finish restorations as well as some of the completed items as well. There's some really unique tools in here, some you may be familiar with and some you may not. And of course, I've been accused at times of being somewhat boring on my videos. Well, my whole purpose of doing these is to educate, not entertain. But once in a while, you never know what'll show up. So, on with the show. Well, one of the tools I picked up at the patina show was a Victorian hand beater. Now, most folks are probably familiar more with the Stanley 66 beaters, but this one's a little different. This is English. And I started doing some restoration work on it. I should have gotten a better picture of it before I started, but here it is, kind of started in the process. I've done some basic cleaning on the brass, the steel knob. The blade has some frosting, what I call, or very light pitting, but just frosting. And it's got the fence. And the way this works is, of course, this sliding piece in here adjusts. The fence is fixed on one side, and you move the head to adjust the width of the cut. The handle has some roughness and wear, and I'm not sure how pretty that's going to turn out, but this is stage one of the cleaning. I'm going to go back and rub a little brass polish over the brass pieces just to kind of do a little better job on it. So, and here we are with the brass pieces, having hit them with just some brass polish. I could take them back over to wheel and buff them again, but I'm not going to worry about it. I more prefer this look, especially since the handle is going to take some serious work. So, but that's the next phase of this particular adventure. And here's the handle cleaned up best as I could. I had to do I did some light, very light scraping using my pocket knife to kind of get some of the roughness down, but it's rosewood, but as you can see, it's pretty well worn. But hey, do the best you can with what you got to work with, you know? And here we have the finished piece. Yeah, considering what it looked like when I started, it's not too bad. Everything works. There's that wear to the sole and on the handles, but again, this is one of them tools you don't find very often. And it is kind of a neat piece. And a very collectible one at that. And here's a closer look at a couple of the tools I picked up down at Patina that sold pretty fast. The one on the top here is a chairmaker's devil, or hollow shave. Rosewood handle with a brass sole piece. Needless to say, these are not very common tools. And this one's really nice. Probably didn't sell for enough money, but it sold, so. And last is a saw rest. This is used for setting saws. You've got notches of different widths, and you just set it on the teeth and give it a slight twist to set it. Pretty simple, but yet the operation defies many people. Some of these you'll find once in a while with a guide to help you just keep the same angle, but the old timers didn't seem to need that. Handles beach and a little stain, but Hey, well, this is a really, really nice example of this tool. So, but good pair of both usable and collectible old tools. Another one of the items I got down at the patina sale was this hand-forged food chopper. That somebody did the usual flea market guy black paint job on, all the way up on the handle. It was a little different than having that double yoke rather than a single tang going up to the handle. So we're going to get working on it and see what's under that. And here we have it after I worked it over with the stripper and the steel wool. I didn't get all of it off, but I got most of it. What I thought was paint on the handle turns out it's charred. Probably they burned the handle in. You see that once in a while. So now it's time to take it over to the wheel and do some careful dressing on it. The goal with a tool like this isn't to get it shiny again, just to get it back to looking kind of like it was when it was forged. So here we go. And here we have the finished product. Well, I said I wasn't going to make it all bright and shiny. I mean, it was a bright or white finished item to begin with, so, but it cleaned up reasonably well. I mean, there's some roughness left over from when it was forged, but note the forging detail here. Whoever did this was definitely a master craftsman. A shot of the other side. Again, little patina. The edge is fairly good on this guy. I mean, a couple wipes on a stone and this. Got to be ready to shave your whatever you want to shave with it. The handle area. Or the shaft area, actually. Here's the handle. Again, it's got some charring from where the handle was burned in. But its tangs are riveted over at the ends, and handle wiggles a touch, but it's not going to come off. I'll tell you, this is a really, really nice example of this particular tool. They don't bring quite the money they used to, but you know, you got to keep up a little bit of respect for these early tools, because otherwise, what's the point in collecting them in the first place? And here we have a couple of specialized tools that I recently restored. On the left is a tooth key, an old dentist tool. And on the right is an early 18th century sugar hammer. The tooth key has a jaw that fits around the tooth, in which the dentist then proceeds to yank it out. Sounds as painful as it looks. This one's a little different. Pardon my growl, cheetah stump. Because the head rotates and then can be locked into place with this tab. This has a rosewood handle on it. It's a little banged up for the age, but boy, this is not a commonly found. These rotating head ones are very, very rare. Next up, another rare item is a sugar hammer. For those of you that know or don't know, sugar was originally supplied in cones. And they had a variety of tools for breaking down the cones. And this is one of them they would have used. Note the head. And this one's beautifully decorated. I mean, it's got some wear and some use, but you know, that's another one of those pieces that doesn't show up very often. And, you know, they're just great, great collectibles that are sure getting hard to find. Another one of the tools I recently picked up was this 18th century wing compass or divider. Measures a little over 7 inches long. This one I had to do some light sanding on to get some of the crusty off, and did a little wheel work and then wiped it down. It does have some overall pitting, but it does have the original hand-forged screw, and that works. The joint's not too bad. The tips are fairly good. The one, which one? Oh, this one. It's got a forge weld line on the inside. Might have been repaired at some point. That might be just the way it was made. But tell you, these guys shrink getting easier to come by, and especially with the screw. I've had a couple lately without the screw. I still have another one here without the screw, a bigger one. But tell you, this is a good collectible tool. Well, all week here it's been between 35 and 45 degrees Fahrenheit in the mornings, except for Sunday on flea market day, where it was 22 degrees Fahrenheit with a 12-degree wind chill. Sigh. So pickings were kind of light. I mean, there were some brave souls out, but I grabbed a couple things just to hopefully pay for the gas. An older turn screw. Somebody kind of over cleaned it, but we can fix that. Kind of a neat, although well used, hand forged stonemason pointing tool. 3/8-inch Stanley 750 chisel with the original handle. Don't know how that one's going to clean up because of the rust there, but handle's worth the price of admission. 1/4-inch 750. That one's also going to need some work, but that's not too bad. Oh, I think this is a Buck Brothers gouge. Handle's a little rough on it. And 3 scraper plane blades. This is a Stanley Sweetheart for number 80. This is a 3-inch, which will fit the early number 12s. And this is a 2.5-inch, which will fit the number 81s. This one's not signed. This one I don't know if signed, but this one is signed. But we'll see. Well, Wednesday's flea market was pretty productive. It was like right about freezing, 32 degrees, but thankfully no wind, and it was heading up to 60 today, and sellers were out. Even the main field was open for the first time since last fall, so that's a good sign. And pickings were pretty strong. That's a Winstead Tool Works, same folks that made Witherby, 1.5-inch firmer chisel marked USA. Some of those are marked USN, they were made for the Navy. A yet is unidentified draw knife. Oh, I can see a mark, but I can't read it from here. Stanley 9.5 plain blade, always can use those. A cap, a blade, and a chip breaker for a number 2 plane. These are Stanley Rule and Level vintage. The chip breaker's got the Bailey patent on it. Those will be worth $1 or $2. An old proportional divider, definitely needs some work. A hand-forged carpenter's claw hammer. Seeing how the back of the eye is tapered like that, I kind of think this might have been a single strap hammer at some point. Hard to say. Orphan framing chisel handle, always can use those. A big hand-forged pivoting head log dog. Some kind of pick head, although this one does not have an eye. The face is mushroomed. Might have been used on a strap. Don't know. A brass. I don't know if this is a crimper or nutcracker, but it's got some kind of name on it, which I'm sure the cleaning will bring out. 3 molding planes. This one's 18th century. The wedge, of course, is chopped off, but marked DS. Another early plane. This one's not signed. It's got a extra fence and what have you. Everything's falling apart here. This one's not signed either, but it's another complex. And this one is again, it's got a piece added to it. Small ovalo made by Mockridge and Francis. New Jersey maker. A Starrett 471 folding rule. Unfortunately, it's got a couple of dings on the edges, not sure from what. And a hand-forged, pardon my penny, blacksmith twister bar. So, pretty good pile for a day in March, let me tell you. That's all for this one, folks. Hope you enjoyed my presentation as always, and please hit that subscribe button to be notified when new videos are posted. Thanks for watching, and bye.